The mind of a fighter. There's only one goal. Victory.
Confidence is the key principle for any athlete in any endeavour going into the occasion. To see whether, if they are confident going into it, it is a massive bonus for them. Some athletes are already confident. Some need to work on that confidence.
My mindset when I'm in the changing rooms before I go out to compete, I'm just running through all the last couple of things we've done in the last 3 months, making sure I've got like kind of things what he likes to do, my opponent likes to do, and I know how I'm going to counter them. It's literally just the last little rehearsal before I go out on show.
It's more a case of what sports psychologists call it the zone. So they need to have the right arousal going into, they need to have the right excitement levels. Of course, if you go over the other side of that, you can't be too excited, you can be too fired up. And that can be a problem because then you don't have that emotional control, which is key for any performance.
I always try to cut out the crowd in the arena. I mean, once I get behind those curtains and my music's on, I know I'm only going one direction, that's straight towards the Octagon. Just before I step in the Octagon, there's nothing to say. Like by that point, I'm fully prepared, I'm fully ready. I couldn't be in better shape normally by this point. I know it's just me and my opponent. For me, it's just left for my job to be done.
You're really going by instinct then, and it's not a case of you need to think consciously about it. And this is what elite sportsmen and women do. Because they've trained so long, because they know their sport inside and out so well, once they get through the initial couple of minutes, then their instinct, their natural moves will take over.
During the match, your opponent might pull out some things off, be fighting slightly differently to what you were expecting. All these can bring in factors of like having to change your fighting style to match his on the day.
Maybe to you and I and people who don't step into the octagon, we would get hurt if we were punched in the head or kicked in the body. I think for a fighter going into it, they know that's going to happen, so it's part of the process. So I don't think it's a case of getting hurt, because clearly with the adrenaline that's going to be rushing around their body, there's no way that they're going to be, they're going to take one punch and go, I'm hurt, stop it. It's only a case of, okay, that's part of it. How can I avoid those punches? How can I avoid the kicks? But then also going, if it does happen, it's utilising that to say, right, okay, that can be another way of getting that upper hand on your opponent.
In between rounds, my coaches will always speak to me. I think it's great to take the information in. Obviously, they're picking out things, they can see things you can't, being actually in the competition. And this will help you massively for the next rounds. Being able to counter something which he's doing very effectively can win you the fight. Once you get clipped, you're just thinking about making space between you and your opponent and just not getting a second shot to put you over the top and just regathering your senses. When you get hurt, you still want to win. You're not down yourself and thinking you're going to lose. Normally survival instincts kind of take over. There is that feeling of like, I have to stop this myself. You're following very much a pattern you're trained to do. So when we've been sparring and training this, obviously, if I manage to catch someone, it'd be putting that extra little bit of pressure on to make them make another mistake so I can get a finishing shot on them.
Whenever a fighter wins, they are going to have the feelings that are of clearly beating their opponent, which is a brilliant feeling. Unfortunately, they won't last very long. That could last anything from 15 minutes through to an hour, 2 hours. But after that, that will dissipate, and then physical feelings will then be, okay, I've hurt on my shoulder, hurt on my body or my legs. So it's then a case of making sure that the recovery process has already started.
Obviously, I'm very happy. It's been a long time building up to this one moment and getting that victory. So again, elated, over the moon. I think defeat's something which is a very individual thing. It took me a while to actually re-watch the match I lost, and I think I've learned a lot from it, definitely. The only thing you do from defeat is move on from it, learn from it and move on.
There's no such thing as failure, only feedback. So if you approach it like that, then even if you do lose the fight, as that's the technical outcome, well then you can still learn from that, you can still improve so for the next fight, and that's a case until you become the world champion or the ultimate champion, then there's always room for improvement. And to be honest, even when you are the #1 in the world, there's still going to be room for improvements. Whenever you get into MMA, I think it's more a case of knowing what is going to be happening. Can you take getting hit and keep moving forward? And I think that's probably the most difficult thing for people to get their head around. To constantly be getting beaten up, punched, hurt, kicked, and still enjoy it and still move forward.
My goal is victory. I want to be a champion.